Okay, so I wanted to go over how I do my spoon blanks. So I'm gonna do one of my cooking spoons. This is kind of the standard billet that I will start with. This was split out of maybe like a 12-inch diameter birch log. There's got a little mold on there from, I keep these stored in plastic bins to keep the wood wet because I want to make sure the wood stays nice and wet when I'm doing the rough out work. So what I do first is I take a look at the billet, flip it around, and see if there's a natural curve either this way or this way that I can use to emphasize the crank of the spoon a little bit. That's where the bend is down toward the spoon bowl. So I see a little bit of a curve here. So I think I'm gonna orient the spoon. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I think I will. Then the other thing I'm looking for is the thickness right here to see, I want a bit of thickness again, so I have some space right in here that I can add some crank to that bowl to handle transition. So this is gonna be what it ends up looking like there. And so the first thing I want to do now, once I've decided that, is I want to basically take out any twist along this top face here. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that, a little bit of twist, and there's some unevenness, so I want to flatten all that out with the axe first before I get going tracing my template there. Alright, so here's the first step here before we trace the template. We're gonna just clean up this twisted face here, make it a little flatter and clean it up so it's easier to see what's going on. I'm not necessarily showing the safest way to do this. That's not going to be my main concern in these videos. I just kind of want to show the way I do it. I use a relative degree of safety, but there may be different ways a beginner might want to do this. But so here we go. I'm sighting down. I'm using this line as my reference. I'm sighting down that line as I go here, evening up the surface. And I'm looking down this again, sighting, taking out that twist. I find it easier to deal with the twist at this point rather than, you can wait until later in the process, but I think it makes it a lot easier to start squared up right from the beginning. Oh, that's pretty good. So pretty flat. Got most of the twist out of there, and now I've got a nice surface to do my template on there. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to just flatten out the back a little bit here. And that'll just make it kind of easier to handle and do the tracing. So just square it up a little bit. So I've got this cleaned up, flattened out here. So I'll just show you my template. I just carved these out of wood. They're about, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch thick or something like that. And since I'm always tracing on a flat surface, I don't axe in my crank at the beginning like some people. I just keep it flat. I think it's easier to, it works for me. Might not be the way to go for everyone, but makes it easier to trace templates. And I kind of like these thicker ones just because it's easier for the whatever you're marking with to follow the edge there. And it also, I can also, I'll try and show you here, you can either trace it really close or you can kind of ride it on the outside like that and get a little variation in your template, just kind of depending on the blank you're using. What, you know, maybe the blank's slightly small or bigger than normal and you want to take advantage of different aspects of the blank. You can make micro adjustments in the template on the fly like that, and it's pretty easy to just hold and do all your tracing. So that's all there is to that, nothing too fancy. So we've got our template traced here. The next step for the way I do it is I'll make stop cuts going right into the bowl to handle transition here. You want to be careful to orient your saw really up and down and make sure you're not having it in an angle to where it cut into your handle transition down here. You can see I've still got a wide gap there. So then doing these stop cuts allows me to split out the waist here, so we'll go over that. We'll see. This one doesn't look super promising. The thing to know is to avoid the split running into the handle. Basically, whatever side of the split has more mass, it's going to run opposite of that. So this split here, there's a little mass on this side compared to this side. So this is going to run out really fast, right out that way. I'll show you here. So you can see splits here, very little mass here, lots of mass on this side. Split runs right out the side with less mass. Now this next split, I have to be more careful because my split's going to be right about in here, and I risk having more mass on this side and having the split run into the handle there. So I'm just going to move my split a little further away from the handle to make sure I have even mass on each side of this split. We'll see how it goes here. Alright, so we had a pretty good outcome there. You can kind of see I evened up that mass, stayed a little further away from the line there to make sure it ran out this way and didn't ruin the blank. Okay, so now I'm going to proceed just with the axe work here. Maybe I'll go down this way. lost a little handle there, so I'll just keep this over here, no big deal. So that's my first step there. Now I'm going to come back down toward my stop cuts. And you gotta be careful here. You can split all the way through and into your bowl. So what I'm trying to do is I try to keep a chip built up here, and it kind of keeps my axe online and from popping the chip too soon. So I'll just keep going there. And I'm just stopping my, I'm picturing stopping my cut right here so I don't go any further than that. There we go, that's good there. I'll do the same on this side. About there. Alright. So I'm going to take a little bit off the back of the spoon. I don't want to take much at this point because I want to make sure I've got enough to add some crank and do all my shaping later on. So really not much there. Now I'm just gonna clean up these little ears here. Again, I'm not gonna do it necessarily the safest way, but it's gonna be the way I do it here. So I just rusted over the sharp edge of my chopping block and have my hand as far back as I can back here. And that's good. If you leave a little bit extra on the handle here, it acts as a protector. If you have any missed blows that want to hit the handle there, you've still got a little bit of meat that'll get carved away, so you're not hacking into your finish line there. So now I'll do the other side. There's that. You can pop this last little section now if you want. That wouldn't be a big deal to remove at the shave horse though either. And that's about it. That's the way I do it. That's as far as I need to axe. I'll finish everything up at the spoon meal with the draw knife.